Inviting and encouraging all of our listeners all around the world to join us in the next expansion of the Awakened Radio Network. We are wanting to upgrade our technology. We just had to cancel some live broadcasts because our PC died. And our technician advisor, Rob Ragozzine, has told me that we need a server, we need a superstation computer, and some kind of backup thing. And the cost for all of this is going to be right at $5,000. And while for some of us that may sound like a lot of money, think of it this way. If each of us gives from our heart, each of us that is part of the Awakened Radio Network donates $1, $5, $10, $20, $50, $100, even more. It will not take us very long to co-create a superstation computer setup that will guarantee us live airtime. We are ready to expand. We've already expanded with the Thrive Evolutionary Consciousness magazine. We are ready to expand even more, and we invite you and celebrate you co-creating with us. I've set up a special page at awakenedradio.net. Look up at the top where it says radio station support. You can make a one-time love gift donation, or you can set up a recurring monthly payment that will come out of whatever account you set up the same day every month. However you help us, you are appreciated. And if you'd like to send a check or cashier's check, money order to the station, that information is at awakenedradio.net there on our front page. Thank you so much for realizing that survival energy principles are practiced here at Awakened Radio, that we are Awakened Radio, and together we create a new reality. I love you. Peace. Thank you for listening to Awakened Radio Network at awakenedradio.net. Join us to take part in our live chat room, our forum. Check out who's going to be interviewed next on our interviews page. AwakenedRadio.net is brought to you in part by TheBarefootGuru.com. Visit TheBarefootGuru.com today to find out how you can take part in the Creative Playground Mastermind Group.
Welcome. You're now tuned in to your Unfolding Senses on Awakened Radio, the show about opening to your intuitive senses. I'm your host, Rob Ragozzine, and I'm on the air every Thursday at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. This show is brought to you by IntuitionByRob.net, where I offer tips and techniques to help you explore your intuition. Please enjoy the show and invite your friends to join us here as well. Let's get started. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Tonight, it's June 13th, 2013. Welcome to Your Unfolding Senses. I'm Ragozzine, your host, explorer, blogger, author, intuitive, and numerologist. Your Unfolding Senses is about opening to your inner wisdom. We're all intuitive, but many of us just haven't found a way to listen and connect and hear the messages that are already coming in to you. On this show, we talk about the tools, technology, and techniques for letting go of stress, centering, and connecting inward, and learning to truly listen to our hearts, with a focus on helping you to find those tools that will work for you. It may be that you've actually known about many of these tools for a long time, but they've been underutilized, untaught, or simply fallen out of use. But now, researchers are able to tap into our universe like never before, and they're uncovering the benefits of many of these long-forgotten or underutilized techniques. And when interesting research comes to light, I'll talk about it here on the show. Feel free to call in and ask questions or comment on the tools that work for you, or intuition, dreams, or numerology, which we're discussing tonight. You can join us here in the chat room by coming to awakenedradio.net and clicking on the live chat tab, or adding Awakened Radio to Skype, or simply dialing 334-649-7204. And of course, this show doesn't replace any medical advice, so work with your doctor or other healthcare practitioners with any health issues that might be in your way for a totally happy and healthy life. So what's this all about? As you already know, Your Unfolding Senses is about connecting to your intuition, your inner life, and your heart, essentially learning to listen to your inner guidance instead of dismissing it, no matter your age, background, or ideology, making room in your life for your inner voice to shine through. Think of your intuition as a giant, humongous broadcast station. You can tune in and connect with whatever you need or want to. Are you tuned into those channels that are uplifting and helpful, helping you to step towards the life of your dreams, or are you tuned into static? And first, I'd like to thank Donna and the Healing Circle, which leads up to this show, and I'd like to remind you to stay tuned for Farm Girl by 40, but I think they're having power issues tonight, so we don't know. I don't think they are. As you're already listening, this is an opportunity to slow down, suspend doubt and disbelief, at least for the next hour, and we'll connect inward, make time for space and stillness. And gradually the special space that we create here can unfold out into your outer life. And with that in mind, I invite you to take part in our weekly meditation. That is, if you're not driving or running or doing something that this wouldn't be appropriate for. So you can bring a question to mind that you've been wondering about. You might light a candle, find a comfortable space to sit down in or lie down in. And as we're talking about numerology and the life path specifically, you might ask to be shown how you can better step onto your own path at this time, and allow for a phrase, a sound, word, or symbol to come to you during meditation, or however you receive your intuitive information. So finding your quiet space, sitting comfortably, closing your eyes, and beginning to breathe slowly and gently. Releasing any stress from the day, breathing gently into yourself and deep into your heart. Letting go of any doubts or worries, continuing your breathing, and let your mind quiet and your body rest. Feel yourself filling with peace and tranquility. Bringing your focus to your heart. You may bring your hands to your heart if you so choose, and ask, what has it been asking for? Allow your awareness of your heart to deepen as you breathe, settling into calmness, stillness, and tranquility. Feel all of your senses sharpen, open, grow, and deepen. Know that this is a special place where you can clearly hear your own inner voice, however it speaks to you. Be mindful of how this space feels. You might ask your question now, or notice any messages available to you within this space. Your inner ears might hear a word or a phrase. Your inner eyes might see a color, shape, or picture. Your inner nose might pick up a long-forgotten fragrance. You might notice other sensations as well. Pay attention to these. If you don't understand what they might mean for you, you can ask for deeper clarity. Allow whatever comes to you to come, but if nothing does, that's okay. Don't force anything to happen. Simply rest in the tranquility and stillness. This could be the very thing your heart has been yearning for. Notice how your body feels in this time of stillness. Breathe into those parts of your body that feel tight or stressed, and allow yourself to feel the comfort of this space. Know that you can come here anytime. And as we prepare to leave, having and feeling gratitude for this connection and any messages you might have received. Slowly and gently bringing your focus back to the room and your body, and opening your eyes when you're ready. This week, we'll be talking about your life path within numerology, which is all about the theme of the positive lessons you have learned and will continue to learn throughout your life. Last week we discussed some more of the basics of sacred geometry, so you can check out that show, which is part 2 of my talks about sacred geometry, by going to the forum here at Awakened Radio. Now back to what we're discussing this week, which is numerology and your life path. Your life path is based on your birth date. All the numbers in your birthday are added together, and the result is quote-unquote reduced until you get a single-digit number 1 through 9, or master numbers 11 or 22. Basically, it's sort of the what do I want to do with my life impulse that's buried deeply within you, within your heart. It can be like sort of like a blueprint for your life experiences. And as such, it can help to indicate the qualities, talents, skills you can easily learn and use to your own advantage throughout your lifetime. It could help you to better focus on those areas of your personality that have matured and those that can still mature and grow. And you may look to it to help you guide you in your questions around personal fulfillment and accomplishment. And you may already know your life path number, but feel free to call in if you don't, and I'll help you to calculate it. And down in the chat room mentions that she's a 5, if she had it correctly, and I'll walk you through how to do it right now. So as an example, say someone was born on 5/13/1984. So May 13th, 1984. So you would add 5 plus 13, which will get you 18, and then you add up 1984, 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 4 will get you 18. And that will be added, 1984 will get you 22. Sorry. So then 18 plus 22 is 40, and we then reduce that result, 4 plus 0, to get 4. So we add 5 plus 13, which is the month and day, to get 18, and then we add 18 plus the digits in the year, which becomes 18 plus 22, which is 40, and then 4 plus 0, which is 4. So that person would have a 4 life path number. And then you can work with the tarot, I Ching, runes, or other systems of divination to look deeper into your own number, or sit in meditation and explore, and then do artwork or movement or some kind of further and deeper exploration. And already we have 2 people who know theirs. Tori mentions hers is a 7, and so we can work with that. And briefly, the 7 life path is all about planning, organizing, simplicity, a lot of insight, a lot of looking back, looking forward. They're the kind of people that are the visionaries. They're always thinking 7 years ahead, 7 generations ahead. And they're the ones that people come to for guidance and wisdom. They seem to have everything, to have the insight, but they also very much like music and entertainment. It helps them to relax. So those are the people that you would go to, not necessarily for wisdom, but for guidance, simply because they spend a lot of their life thinking, planning, and strategizing. So, if that's correct, and Tori says, indeed. And Donna mentioned that she was a 5, and her digits indeed add up to be 5. And these are the people that are always, in general, looking for answers, trying to learn more. They're all about freedom and travel and wandering. So these people find it hard to be nailed down. They always want to have flexibility, fluidity. They're creative, inventive, intuitive, always looking for change. And on the flip side, they could be afraid of change simply because they want to be in control. But they're more about having the opportunity to learn more about what's happening than having the reins. It's more about learning about the experience.
Yep, that's right.
So that's the 5 and the 7 in the brief. The 1 life path is about individuality, decisiveness, creativity. The 2 life path, in brief, is about cooperation, passion, service, balance. They're the meat eaters. The 3 life path is about socialization, stepping forward, speaking up. So these are the people that are the social butterflies. It's kind of the glue that keeps everyone together at parties. They want everyone to have a good time. The 4 life path is about being practical, persisting, dedicated. I'm a 4 life path. The 5 we already talked about. The 6 life path is really a lot about compassion and empathy. The 8 life path is about responsibility and leadership. The 9, a lot about intuition, being passionate, compassionate. Since in numerology you go through cycles of 1 through 9, they're at the end of the cycle, so they know a lot. They have a lot of maturity and inner wisdom. And then the 11 life path, which is considered a master number, is all about being of service. Martin Luther King had an 11 life path. It's about teaching and being in the community. And then the 22 life path is about compassion, honor, leadership, vision, and insight. So that's really in brief, and we'll talk more in depth later on. So I guess we have some new people here in the chat room, and I covered Tori's number, and if anyone else would like to have their life number looked at, we can just post your birthday in the chat room, or you can add up your digits yourself and tell me what the number is. Now, following your life path really involves being who you are and not the person that others have dictated. But it's not about labeling yourself just the same. So even though you might have life path 1, for instance, that doesn't mean you have to be independent all the time. You can still be creative and active and inventive, but you don't have to be labeled by your numbers. It's simply a guide. And it's always important to be your own person and be willing to roll up your sleeves and work with your problems rather than struggling against them. And numerology really is a way to offer insight and gain some clarity about where your heart is taking you. And we're not trying to label you in any way. Numbers are a starting point. So sort of play the hand that you've been dealt, but believe that you can change it and that you can win. And keep in mind that the life path really requires some real and honest work on your part. It's not about putting your head in the sand. It's your choice. You can bring your purpose into focus in your present and your future. So it's really about finding and being willing to pursue your purpose rather than dismiss it and saying, oh, I can't do that. It's not worth it. And this doesn't have to be your vocation. It can be an avocation. It could be something that you spend a short amount of time with each week. It's an interest, and your heart is calling you in that direction. It's simply about finding a way to move in that direction. It doesn't mean you have to live there 24/7, but it's a way to express yourself. So finding a way to express your life path is what's important here. It's not about labeling yourself. It's not saying I should or have to be working at XYZ company because that's my true path. No, it's about expressing whatever needs to be expressed from your heart. So if you have any questions regarding this initial explanation or about your life path, you can call in or you can post your question in the chat room. And we'll start to talk a little more in depth about all of the paths, starting with, of course, Life Path 1. And call number is 334-649-7204, or of course, adding Awakened Radio to Skype. The one life path is about developing your own will, your own individuality, decisiveness, and expressing your creativity. And you can also look at it as becoming a caring, considerate leader. And that's part of really forging your own path, standing on your own 2 feet, perhaps even being a mentor and helping others to do the same. So even at a very young age, you have a strong independent streak within you, and you don't want to be pinned down by others. And you have an inner need to be the first one to do something. So not only you want to be the first one to accomplish your goals, you want to be the best. And of course, being brash, being arrogant, and boastful, you can isolate yourself. And you can meet, many new and exciting people who are avant-garde and all kinds of different people in your lifetime because you're always seeking new challenges and schemes and experiences. So just to notice that and to really follow its guidance, you need to find ways to be creative and inventive. It might be through your vocation, but it doesn't have to be. You can pursue art, you can pursue singing, dance, something that allows for you to tap into your full creative and inventive expressions, whatever that might be for you. So that might be that your vocation allows you to do that. But if it doesn't, you'll need to make time to really allow for this within your life. Does that make sense? I think it does. It's really just listening to your heart and what it wants. And if it has an urge to be creative, then finding ways to do that. So art is a good way to begin to do that, but singing might be a good way to do that. Even if you tell yourself you're not good enough, it doesn't matter. It's about allowing for the expression and seeing where that might lead you. Now we have about 5 minutes till our break, so I will remind you how to connect with me during that time. You can come to my site, intuitionbyrob.net, and click on the media button, and that will get you here to Awakened Radio, to my forum page where you can read about past shows, also make comments and ask questions there. My show page, which talks all about my show, the Awakened Radio store, where you can get good stuff from the show, from the store, like readings, stones, and more. I don't know if we've run out of kefir, but you can get some kefir there as well. And then links to my Facebook page and my Twitter account, all from that one page. And you can just click on the links and you can navigate. It's very easy and not very hard to navigate. And if you're so inclined and you've enjoyed our past shows, donations are always greatly appreciated. We're here at no cost to you, so please find it in your heart to click the donate button at the top, the big yellow button of most screens on Awakened Radio. And we just had a deadline for our Thrive magazine, but you can come to Awakened Radio and click on the Thrive magazine link, and you can read articles and see art and poetry from listeners and the hosts of Awakened Radio. And next month, if you get your article in by the 10th, you can contribute an article as well. So please feel free to do that. We're definitely trying to build a community here at Awakened Radio, so your contributions are welcome and appreciated and asked for. And we'll share a link to one of your websites in the magazine if you make a contribution. On our website, you can also join us and be a sponsor. You provide us with a quick 30-second script with your business name and description, and we record it and broadcast it in every show that you'd like to sponsor. So if you sponsored this show, it'd be at the introduction of the show, at the break, and at the end. And then that will go into the archives as well. And if you'd like also to become a host here at Awakened Radio, you can do that as well by clicking on the host, be a host button here at Awakened Radio, and talk about, especially if you have something important as a healing message to talk about, we greatly appreciated you offering yourself and coming here and joining us at Awakened Radio. Now, we have about a minute till a break, so remember, you can dial 334-649-7204 and join us here in the chat room by coming to awakenedradio.net, clicking on the live chat tab, or add Awakened Radio to your Skype and communicate with us. We're talking about numerology and your life path number.
Hello, I'm Donna Devane, station owner here at Awakened Radio Network, and I wanted to take a few moments to answer some questions that I've received from listeners. One is, how can I support the Awakened Radio Network? Well, one of the easiest ways for you to do that is to visit our website at awakenedradio.net and check out our online store. We have stones and crystals, jewelry, medicine bags, dream catchers, coaching sessions with a few of our hosts in there, autographed copies of both of my books, lots of things that can help you on your journey and celebration of your life. Also, we do have donate buttons throughout the website. When you make a donation to the Awakened Radio station, you are saying, kudos, I love you, thank you for what you're doing, keep doing it. And you help us to stay on the air and to expand our operation. A lot of times we're asked, well, how much do I donate? That is entirely up to you. Listen to your heart. I've told people over the years, I don't want your power money. I don't want your grocery money. Share from your heart. The Awakened Radio Network is built upon the foundation of co-creating, all of us working together. We don't take grant money. We don't have corporate money. We are self-supported by our hosts, by some of our sponsors, our small businesses who sponsor us, and by ourselves and listeners like you. There's no amount too small or too large for that matter. If you love what we're doing and you'd like to see us expand, then shop in our store, make a donation, or perhaps you'd like to host your own show. All that information is on our website at awakenedradio.net. If you'd like to contact me for questions, do so. Send me an email at awakenedradio@gmail.com, or you can add Awakened Radio to your Skype contact. Don't just call, because you may call in the middle of the show. Send me a text message there, and I'll get right back with you to have a conversation and answer your questions. Know this, Awakened Radio is about you. We are here because we care. We stand by and we live the messages that we present to you here on the airwaves. We are about information, inspiration, and motivation for those who are changing their lives. Peace.
Thank you for joining me, Rob Ragozzine, here on my show, Your Unfolding Senses. Please feel free to join us in the chat room or call us here at Awakened Radio with your intuition or healing questions. Simply dial 334-649-7204 or add Awakened Radio to your Skype. And we're back. So we'll focus on some of the questions you might like to ponder, as well as continuing to discuss the Life Path numbers individually. So some questions you might like to look at with the Life Path number is who, for instance, has encouraged your progression along your life path? Who or what? So for me, a lot of it was reading, self-teaching, a desire to learn, which helped to give structure and shape my life, wanting to know more really helped my progression along my own life path. Another question, where have I limited my own progress on my life path? And for me, since my life path number is a 4, part of the issue or struggle might be trying to look at everything logically, one step at a time, and sometimes it's about simply taking a leap and accepting what is. So looking at everything logically might have been a little bit limiting at first. You might also like to ask, what do I like about my life path? So what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? How has my life path served me, for instance? How have I lived in service to my life path? So as you're thinking about those questions, we'll talk about life path number 2. And the life path number 2 is about, again, cooperation, passion, service, and balance. You're sort of the mediator in any group. So being generous, honest, and caring can definitely help you to bring out the best, not only in yourself, but in others as well. And others will often seek you out for information, counseling, advice. You can be exceptional at both organizing and fact-finding, and these things often make you the most happy. So looking at ways to bring this out into your life might simply be to find a way to bring structure and by making it fun and unique in some way. So maybe you're a feng shui expert, maybe you're a great counselor, and you find a way to be a mentor in lots of various programs as you get older. Maybe you join something that helps with children, or you volunteer at a hospital, but you're bringing, whatever you're doing, you're bringing balance, and you're bringing healing, organization, you're helping the organization stay level and flowing. And a big thing for you while growing up might be that you try to sidestep certain issues, but that might only make problems more difficult to solve in the long run. So you learn more about acceptance as you're maturing, and you learn that force and power and control are not necessarily bad, and you can step into authority when the situation calls for it, and others will follow your lead. So settling people's differences and helping things to be fair and equitable really are your calling card. So that's life path number 2. Now, since the life path is all about discovering your real purpose, or a real purpose in your life, how do you go about doing that? Now, it's very important that we're simply not talking about a job. We're talking about, well, it's not your whole reason for being, but it's definitely a reason for being. And as you grow and mature, the life path number can really help you to understand some of the life experiences that you've went through, and can help to shape you as a person and help you to understand your overall purpose. But the important thing really to remember is that bringing more consciousness, awareness, and maturity to any particular situation can help you to bring healing into it and help you to develop the skills that you need to progress along your own path. So it's about willing to listen to your heart, not dismissing where it's leading you as being silly or unimportant. It's about facing life with hope and courage and honesty and determination. Yes, it might be hard to follow its guidance, but that's part of the path. So another question that might come up would be, what are your judgments around your life path? What are they? So I occasionally get an email that says my number sounds so structured and boring, and I want to have a flamboyant and fun and exciting life. How do I do that? Well, it's learning to, as the saying goes, chop wood and carry water. So do the hard stuff, but also enjoy life moment to moment, and not put aside your tasks and chores, but also don't dismiss, again, where your heart is leading. So it's really about learning to pay attention to your inner wants, desires, yearnings, and making time and space for those. And journaling might definitely help here. So making time in your life for journaling and writing down, and if you keep writing down what your heart wants, you can't really dismiss it if you keep seeing the same message over and over. Life Path 3. So the Life Path 3, as we talked about, really is about a lot about socialization, speaking out, especially in a public forum, can be very important for you. So social skills, creativity, and looking good are obviously extremely important for you, but this isn't about surface. This is about the inner you, and learning to balance the material needs and the need to simply relax can often pull you in different directions. So it's learning to look at the surface, the glitz and the glamour, versus having your message heard and allowing other people's messages to be heard as well. And often that's in the social atmosphere, social realm. So finding a way to balance all of that as you mature and grow can be very important. And others can be drawn to you simply because of your warm, mostly positive, outgoing attitude. And many people could find you charming and irresistible. And of course, if you're not careful, this can get you into trouble at times. And you can excel at any kind of avocation or vocation that incorporates some level of risk. So you might find yourself in finance or hosting or travel. It could be right up your alley. And you can also do well where your wit and charm are called into play. So entertaining is definitely an area to look at, and you may find that you're the person that's always throwing the parties, or even though everyone tells you not to, you find the vocations that allow you to step into the entertaining world. Although it doesn't seem like it could be lucrative for most people, it could be very lucrative for you. Now, an exercise that you can do to learn more about your life path and how you feel about it, and always use everything you learn about yourself for healing and growth, is to write down something like, I feel, and then start to journal about how you feel about your life path. And then to have a column for the skills, attributes, attitudes, traits, qualities that you think have helped you in the past, and then those that you think have hindered you. And that really can bring you to the next phase, which is journaling about something you've struggled with in the past. And this can be an important lesson within your life path, and that really occurs when you block, deny, or dismiss your potential through inaction or simply unproductive behavior. So if you're simply dismissing an urge from your heart over and over and over again, this can lead to the struggle. So you feel pulled to do something, but you dismiss it as being irrelevant or silly or stupid or whatever. This is where the struggle comes in. So just to notice where you're struggling and to see if it can help you to learn more about your life path number. Now, we didn't talk about life path 6 in depth yet, so we'll talk about that. So again, it's about having compassion and empathy for others, and it may involve standing up and willingly giving assistance to those who need it most. So taking care of family members who are sick, even though you feel like you've always done it in the past. Balance and responsibility are key elements for this life path number. Feeling useful definitely makes you feel happy, but it's also important to learn to take care of you. So you can really excel in any endeavor that requires patience, kindness, tolerance, generosity, caring. So you can be an excellent caregiver, but again, notice how much you give out and how much you allow to come in. So you can also be very logical. So you can get caught up in the spreadsheet here, in the balance. Does everything equal out? And then you can start to get caught up in the negative. Instead of using your analytical ability for good, you're using it for beating up on yourself. So it's really important to learn to bring compassion into your life, to have it for yourself, and to have it for others. So meditation definitely can be an important tool to bring into your life. And make sure that your home isn't dry and static. Make sure to allow for space that's colorful and vibrant so you feel recharged there, as you definitely can be an at-home person. So decorating can be an important part of your life. And you want your home to be very attractive and welcoming. And that can definitely bring much happiness into your life. And the 7 life path is a lot about learning to reap what you sow. So as I was talking about planning and organizing before, simplicity also can be very important. Generally, you're peaceful, and being aware and open is very important. And although you enjoy being analytical, it's not always simply about sitting around thinking, because sitting and putting your head in the sand just won't do for you. So it's learning to listen to your inner guidance, and you'll do very, very well. And your head can be full of ideas about what the world should be and could be. And when people and events don't conform to your ideals, you might become angry, frustrated, and depressed. So you really want to be able to have patience and learn how to step out of the static and the noise and find peace for yourself. So as a teen, you might have been very stubborn and antagonistic. So now, as you've matured and grown, you can really do well in all kinds of social engineering fields, such as economics, law enforcement, or some type of social activism. Any type of area that allows for long-range planning and detailed organization can be very rewarding for you, including, of course, music and the arts. And in the chat room, somebody says 78, but you have to add the 7 to the 8, which will give you 15, which will be 6. So your life path would be 6, which I mentioned already, which involves lots of compassion, tolerance, caring for others. So really making sure that you care for yourself. And I'll post in the chat room my own link to my own site where you can calculate your life path number for yourself, and I offer guidance and tips right there. It's at intuitionbyrob.net, and it's under the tools section, and You can learn all about the core numbers right there for free, and Life Path number is right there, and it offers the instructions on how to calculate it. So I'm posting it into the chat room, and I'll also post it into the forum when the show is ready. And I have some links on my numerology page about 666, as we're talking about in the chat room, but that's really a whole nother topic which I'll talk about at another time. So, questions you might like to ask as you're doing a numerology reading for yourself. So what are the emotions that come up when you read about each of your core numbers? And I already asked this of you with the Life Path number. So notice how you feel when you read it and see the description and say, oh, I know that about myself. I hate that. Well, it's learning, obviously, to have compassion for yourself and wonder how you can use that to better yourself and to step more fully into your life and to embrace this part of you. So, for instance, my life path is 4, so it's learning to really accept the logical part of my mind that always wants to know, but why? But why? Why does this work this way? And at some point to do the reading and learn about it, sure, but to also try to step beyond the why and just step into the doing, to do whatever needs to be done, and sometimes to just enter the mystery willingly and do some sort of ritual or way, learn to find a way to express whatever needs to be expressed. And as I been mentioning art, I've been stepping into art a lot lately, and I just play with pastels, crayons, and just draw whatever I feel like drawing. You might like to sing, you might like to dance, you might like to work with clay or wood, whatever it is. Find a way to be creative or expressive in your own way, whatever that way is for you. It's not what I'm telling you to do. It's about finding a way to tap into your heart and truly learn to listen to it. So, you might ask, how do these numbers motivate me? Well, it's more about how do you motivate yourself, of course. And looking at how you allow yourself to grow and change rather than resist the urge to move in a particular direction. So how have these numbers helped to shape my life? Is another question you might like to look at, and to really wonder how the experiences the numbers relate to you, which ones you fully accepted and took on the challenge. So looking, for me, that might be simply taking on spontaneous adventures, for instance. So stepping out of the need to have structure and just going on a spontaneous adventure. I remember one time just going to Atlantic City for the weekend with friends, and we had pockets full of change. So it was 5 or 6 people in one room. Of course, I was much younger, but still, and we didn't win anything, we didn't lose anything. We just had fun exploring the penny slots, for instance, during the weekend. So if you're logical, that might sound like, it's a waste of a weekend, but no, it's about fully expressing yourself. And as an exercise around this, you might look back to your childhood desires and hopes and look at that as a way to connect more deeply to where your heart is pulling you now. So you may have had your answers buried deep inside of you, so think back to the activities you enjoyed as you were growing up, and what were they? For me, a lot of it involved really liking reading and finding one book by Roald Dahl, which really encouraged me to read quite a bit, and I never stopped reading after that book. And so looking to your early childhood games and activities can provide clues and insight into a very rewarding course of action today. Now we only have about 5 minutes till break, so I'll briefly mention the other core numbers, which you can calculate again on my site, and I can calculate for you too as well. So you have the destiny number, and that describes the task that you'll feel compelled to achieve in your lifetime with the name that's given to you. So at first it might seem similar to your life path, but that's the path that will best serve you. And the destiny number is really about answering the question of your life path. So life path asks, what do I want to do with my life? The destiny number is all about how you will go do that. So looking at your destiny number to help answer that question, and it's based on the letters in your name. The soul number, which is based on the vowels, it represents how you see yourself, so you can definitely do quite a bit of shadow work there, just simply by asking, how do I see myself? And because it is a reflection of you, it can definitely help you to identify and highlight paths that your soul is drawn towards. Your outer number represents how others see you. It can definitely also help to identify talents, characteristics, strengths, and weaknesses. And we're often blind to our own greatness, so notice what other people see in you that you don't see. Again, some shadow material there. And your maturity number shows how all your other numbers work together, and it represents definitely a certain maturity, and power really comes into life between 30 and 40, with its full force becoming stronger throughout your 40s and beyond. I have a quote from John Eldridge. He says, this is from his book Desire, "Isn't there a life you have been searching for all your days? You may not always be aware of your search, and there are times when you seem to have abandoned looking altogether, but again and again it returns to us, this yearning that cries out for the life we prize. It is elusive, to be sure. It seems to come and go at will. Season may pass until it surfaces again, and though it seems to taunt us and may at times cause us great pain, we know when it returns that it is priceless. For if we could recover this desire, unearth it from beneath all other distractions, and embrace it as our deepest treasure, we would discover the secret of our existence." Now, if you're interested in more in the life path, you can get my Kindle ebook on Amazon. It's called Your Life Counts, and it walks you through all about discovering your life path number from the very beginning to incorporating it into your life and learning about how to really live your life from within its expression. So it's a really good way to learn more about the life path number, called Your Life Counts, on Amazon. You can buy me, Rob Ragozzine, and I'll post a link to it in the forum after the show. So we only have 1 minute left to this week's show, so stand by for next week's show, next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. And if you have any questions about what we talked about on the show tonight, please feel free to contact me on Twitter or Facebook or email, and I'll gently help you to learn all about how your life path works in your life including the other numbers as well. So do feel free to contact me. And again, please join me next week. Thanks for joining me this week. Have a great week.